Hey guys, this is Super Comic Girl. Sorry, Super Comic Book Girl. Whatever I'll say. Been doing this for almost 8 months, so it's it's one of those things. If anyone does not know about me, and I don't mention this much, but I'm a big Star Trek fan. I am a Trekkie. I've been a Trekkie for a very long time. So I decided, since Star Trek has gone into comic books, I decided, I'm going to do these reviews of the final season of Star Trek Picard. Because it's in comic books now, so it's part of the comic book world. I think. I did the one where the last let the right one in, which I am real disappointed that it did not get renewed for a second season, though it's being shopped around, so we may get a second season of Let the Right One In. I really hope we do, because I really want to see how the first person that was turned you know, by my favorite little vampire adapts, or to being a vampire. So I really want to see that. So I have Paramount Plus, and I'm very happy about that. And I got it for many different reasons. One big thing is because I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I'm just like, this is really cool and everything. And so, yeah. So I hope all of you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. Mine sucked because I was working. It is currently raining outside, so you guys are going to hear the rain in the background. So I just let you guys know that it is raining. Nobody's turning the hose on and pretending that it's raining. So, I just finished watching the first episode of the third season of Star Trek Picard, and I am not going to be doing reviews of the previous seasons. Those have already been done to death. But I don't think they're real. Trek Culture hasn't yet released their ups and downs for the final season of Picard. And I'm going to tell you something. This episode really shocked me, especially the very end of it. I did get a kick. I thought for a second that Jean-Luc and Will were going to do a Kirk. I would have laughed my butt off if they did, like, oh, the prim and proper former captain of the Enterprise does a Kirk. Yeah. So I want to warn people ahead of time. There are going to be spoilers for this on this video. And if you've not watched the final season, or the first episode of the final season of Star Trek Picard, please do. So, yeah. So, I just kind of wanted to do this review of each episode, because what happened at the end of the first episode was mind-blowing. It actually did confirm this one thing, though we don't really know anything beyond who he says that he is. Though Jean-Luc says basically that only somebody that would care about her would have done this. So we open with this beautiful ship. Now I don't have video thing of it, because I'm afraid I'll get hit with a copyright violation. So you're not going to get videos of it. So this beautiful ship, and it's only manned by 2 people. Like, why is it that there's this beautiful ship? I don't even know what the ship is. Why is it only manned by 2 people? And when we find that one of them is Beverly Crusher, we're like, oh, okay, all right. So she went through the bridge officer's test, so she knows about warp cores and all this type of stuff and everything. So yeah, okay, I guess that's a great thing about passing the bridge officer test. You know about warp cores. And we hear this guy in the background, this like, how do they find us? And there's these kind of like these entity, like these species that comes on board that clicks. And I'm like, okay, is that like, that has got to be a language, or like their heads are covered so like the translator can't pick up what they're saying? Is there even a translator on this ship? I don't know. And so she sends this, encoded message and to the Admiral, and she goes and she does this really weird thing that I did not know happened on Best of Both Worlds, and that is that there was a couple added digits that were added to the computer because the computer had gotten corrupted when Locutus of Le Borg, did what he did. And so by adding the additional 3s, they were able to discover exactly where Beverly is at. And this is Will that mentions this. And so you have, of course, I can't remember her name. But she's been in like both seasons, and she went with 7 back in time and all this stuff. And she is there's these weapons that were stolen, and she's trying to find out where in the world these weapons are at. And she knows that these weapons can cause severe damage and all that type of stuff. We also get this kind of like this environment where like everybody is either getting high or they're just drunk and insane. I don't know. But yeah, so the Titan got a retrofit, which this is Will Riker's old ship, and you got this asshole captain that I would not be sad if 7 pushed him out the nearest airlock. And she kind of thinks at first that it is an actual inspection, but it's not. Then later on she suspects that it's not an inspection, because she knows, she has this good sense and everything like that. And then what ends up happening is, Jean-Luc goes and finally tells her exactly why they're really there. Sorry guys. It was like something stinging my eye. So she waits until the captain is asleep. Now this captain is an asshole. An absolute asshole. First and foremost, he prefers to call her I can't pronounce her name, instead of 7. And you can tell that he has absolutely no respect for her. And I think it's partly due to the fact that she did not go through the academy. She was given the field promotion by the Admiral through his authority. And he also disrespects both Jean-Luc and Will. He does not, he basically, he has no respect for Will as a captain, as a fellow captain. He thinks that the only captains that are worthy of respect are people that are still on starships. He is just a glorified asshole. And it is someone that you really would like to see pushed out of the nearest airlock. I just want to kill him. This man is a total asshole. So 7 waits until he's asleep, and because she's got the bridge, she's the one who can give the orders. So she orders the crew to take the Titan to the location where Beverly's at. And of course, they get off the ship just as the captain's ordering the lockdown. And the crew is kind of like, what the fuck is your issue in life? Okay, we're in a part of space we've never been to before. We also introduced to LaForge's daughter, which Will kind of made her feel, Will, honestly, stop degrading people, okay? She feels bad enough about it anyways. Just, I don't know what's going on. Like, okay, it was just bad. It was just wrong and low. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. We also kind of get it that Deanna and Will kind of don't want to be around each other much. So he's going off to space, and yeah, we all know from the trailer that she's going to be joining him. So they finally get on board the ship. Now, like, once again, I don't know the name of the ship. I mean, I really don't. If I missed the name, I am truly sorry. But we will probably find out about it later on. And we are introduced to this young man who, he manages to get the drop on Will, which is absolutely rare. Yes, I must be at old age doing. Yes. And Jean-Luc concludes, because Beverly is in this stasis pod, I think it is, that the only person that would put her in there is someone who cared about her. And we find out that the person who put her in the pod is her son. And his name, and I'm going to take a very good guess, his name ain't Wesley. So that was shocking. It does confirm that Beverly does in fact have another son. Who he is, who is his father, we have no idea. Beverly cut off all contact with her former members of the Enterprise, and they don't know why. They're totally and absolutely stumped. Why would wonderful, caring, beautiful Beverly decide that she didn't want anything to do with her former crew members? And this is a mystery that none of them know, or none of them can solve. And suddenly to have her reach out to Jean-Luc is like, okay, what the freaking heck is going on? And the fact that she's got a son that Will is kind of like, okay, when did this happen? And who's dad? That's what Will, because this is Will. When Will hears that there's a son, when there wasn't a son before, he's kind of like, how is this possible? He knows how it happens, but he's kind of like, I'm confused. He looks so shocked. And Jonathan Frakes does a great job as being a very shocked person. And I literally went batshit crazy when I heard that, yeah, there's a son. So who's the dad? Who is the father? And that is, I think I'm going to be kind of like, I hope they do not release it during the trailer for the next episode, because they do that. They wait a couple days and then they give you a trailer. I just am like, I'm just like, oh my God, And, she has mementos of when, she has, with Jack Crusher, and surprisingly, she still has her flowers, which is shocking. Or they might actually be the same breed of flowers that we saw in Next Generation. And I am just absolutely just blown away about really how good this episode actually was. Some people didn't like the pilot episodes of like the first season, second season, but the third season, just that revelation that Beverly has another son, that Wesley's got a younger brother, is just, oh my God. And it was just, when it was revealed that that there was a son, I'm like, okay, look, I'm not going to believe that this is Jean-Luc Picard's son until Beverly opens her mouth and tells him, or her son, which we don't know his name, tells him. And they do the whole DNA thing and all that stuff. If it's, and here's my thing here. If it is Jean-Luc Picard's son with Beverly, it meant that they didn't do more than just try to have a relationship. They were actually in a relationship, which fans will go, oh, I'm one of them. I'm sorry. I'm one of them. But of course she could have hooked up with anyone. She's a free woman. She can have sex with whoever she wants. But I am so stoked about the fact that Beverly had another son. I really hope it is Jean-Luc's. I really do. And it would explain a lot. It would explain why she stopped communicating, especially to Deanna, because Deanna would have picked that up real quick. But overall, I'm going to do the same rating I give comic books. This was 5 stars. I mean, some people will disagree with me. I don't care. I don't. It was awesome. It was just, we have this ship that suddenly appears at the very end of it that I am going to say reminds me of the ship of, what's it? When they did the Abrams, is it Abrams? Is it Abrams? The Star Trek, the first one that has, what was it? It was the Star Trek where they had the alternate timeline and Spock from the prime Star Trek universe went into the alternate universe and had that big old thing. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that. It does. And I am going to say something. I am really super excited about the fact that Plumber's daughter is in this dang freaking episode and she's the villain. Yes. Please. I like that. I love it. So, so I am going to be doing reviews of the final season of Star Trek Picard. I am super excited about several things. One, encountering the villainess. Okay, got to see that. Also, find out who the hell is the guy that got Beverly pregnant. The son, who's the daddy. I would like to know that. And I would like to see that captain chucked out of the nearest airlock. Because I need that. I need him to be chucked out of the nearest airlock. He's a fucking asshole, and he deserves to die. A very very quick and painful death. Because there is no way in the world. I'm sorry, but he's an asshole. He's not a captain that embodies Star Trek. He's supposed to be open-minded, and no, he is a hate-filled asshole that deserves to be chucked out of the nearest airlock, as Seven threatened to do with Jean-Luc and Will. Like, seriously, don't. What would Janeway think? Please, don't do that. Janeway would be very upset. So anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed the review of it. Once again, if you have not seen the episode, please do not watch this review video. Like I said, shit ton of spoilers and everything. So I'm looking forward to the next episode that will happen next Thursday. So I'll see you guys around. Bye.